given Michigan State a lot of credit. They played with great force, determination, and they looked like a team that deserved a Big Ten championship. Their level of sacrifice for each other, they have such great depth, and I'm sure all those guys would like to play 30-35 minutes, and they're splitting the game based on how it's going. So I will say I'm very proud of how we competed in the second half. It was hopefully a good sign going forward, where we managed to take care of the basketball and not give them easy baskets, and we didn't have near as many self-inflicted wounds. But there's a great divide between first and second place, and we saw that this year. And so we're gonna attack this with some humility and try to figure out how we can make a big jump in the next week before we play in Indianapolis.
Tony?
Yeah, Dusty, just unfortunate to start on this note, but if you just sort of walk us through what happened at the end of the game. It looks like Trey Hodman shoved a couple players, but it looks like they might have been standing on the logo where Michigan State has a just what did you see? Were they aware of that tradition? Was it intentional, or what did you see?
I didn't know there was a tradition where they're shooting a free throw and we have guys standing half court. That there's not a tradition that we can't stand half court as the game's going on. So I'm not familiar with that one. Is that a tradition?
Kissing the logo.
Oh yeah, no problem with that. And obviously it took longer than any 10 F2 timeout monitors, whatever the case. It took a while, but we're fine with that. They've earned the right for that. The seniors have poured their hearts out. As far as the whatever happened, I didn't. Are we not aware? Are we not allowed to stand at half court while they're shooting a free throw? Is that what?
No, you are.
Oh, you are. Okay. So yeah. So he walked up and did. I mean, look, they earned the right to rub our noses in it. It is what it is. We have to play better. We have to get tougher, and so we move on, and we got to compete for another championship this week.
Andrew?
Dusty, you talked about getting things cleaned up before Indianapolis because it's now 3-game losing streak. How confident are you that you can regroup now going into single elimination play?
Well, I have a lot of belief in our guys. That we saw some things in the second half, the sense of urgency, the sense of desperation that we need to play with. And then I think if we can find a way, the last 2 days in practice, we've shot the ball better than we have all year. And so I think that gives us an opportunity to get our confidence back. Confidence, it's not something you can just speak into existence. You got to put in your work. You got to, there's some things we can do to help. But I thought we generated pretty good shots in the second half. Obviously, Vlad's such a load. Those kick-out threes, I thought a lot of them were online. They were straight back at the rim. They're just not dropping for us right now. But if you're not shooting well, then you have to value the ball even more. Or, earlier in the year we were shooting well enough, we could overcome some of these turnover issues.
Dusty, can you reflect on the games you saw Jace Richardson play in person, and how rare is it for a freshman to be as calm and consistent as he has been?
Impressive. That's the one word. His poise, his ability to draw fouls. They have the unique ability to play with extreme physicality, and then when you try to match it, because it's not coming. When you try to match it, then they bait you into it, and then they get the fouls. And so, but Jace, man, the big three late when we made a defensive error. I thought that was a huge shot. That's usually a shot reserved for seniors in that moment. We're on a run. We were guarding as well as we have in a long time. We were running good offense, not turning the ball over, and he stepped up and made a big play. But he impacts the game in so many ways, and his poise is extremely impressive, especially factoring that he's a freshman.
Back right with Charles?
Yeah, it seems like Trey's really struggled in recent weeks. What's your message to him, and what did you see from him today?
Trey Donaldson.
Yeah.
Obviously, these aren't his better games. He's been in the film room. He's been in the weight room. He's trying to work his way out of it. And I thought he had some good looks. And we're not, the shots we want him to take those. We actually had talked as a staff and felt like he was turning down too many catch and shoot threes. I want to talk about the pace of Michigan State, the speed, especially the first 10 minutes that they played was impressive. It was break. I mean, they were running it down your throat. They were challenging everything. They were quick to the ball, and for us to get to the point where we can get over that hump and be at a championship level, those are ultimately the things that you need. It's the threes, whatever, but in the first half they were much quicker to lose basketballs. They were more aggressive on the glass, and so. Like I said, we're going to attack this with some humility and get better and see what we can see what this group can do.
Take a couple more, Kevin.
Danny Wolf was a big part of that 14-0 second half run you guys had to kind of get back into the game. He kind of struggled in the first half, but then turned it on in the second half. It wasn't the first time this year that's happened. I guess, what was the change that he made at the half to was it just getting used to the environment or anything like that? What did you see out of him difference-wise?
Yeah, I'll begin with giving him some credit. He played with a lot more force and determination in the second half, but also we were moving the ball much better. We weren't stuck on one sideline for 15, 20 seconds trying to attack a set loaded defense, especially when Vlad's getting as much attention as he was. They had guards sitting behind him, so if we could have found a way to simply get to the second side quickly, I think our offense would have looked a lot better, but sometimes their intensity and their pressure keeps you from playing the way you're designed to play.
Andrew?
Yeah, with the offense, where are you at with feeding a guy like Vlad who's got it going versus, not having the four other guys just standing around and getting, free-flowing attack, I guess?
Vlad's 9 for 12, 11 for 14 from the line. I thought as much as we can get him in good scoring position we have to do. It's just when you come down and you stop every play, it gets challenging. But I think he generated a lot of fouls, open shots for his teammates. I didn't feel like that was causing us to not be in any flow. We were turning over before we got to half court in the first half, and then in the second half, I thought we found a pretty good rhythm of inside and outside. We're not making the shots, but I think for this team to max out, we're gonna have to bang in some shots.
We'll close with Mark and then Tony.
Not an ideal ending to your regular season. How do you flush this knowing that it's a whole new season starting on Friday?
You don't have a choice. We're not looking. We're going to learn from this, but we're not going to look back and it's the same issues that have plagued us all season. So, are we going to find solutions and fix them, or we're not? And if we're not, then we're going to have to shoot the ball better or continue to be better on the defensive end. But like I said, I believe in these guys. There's some buttons to push. There's some lineup combinations. There's something out there that can help us get over the hump. But like I said, I was very proud of our guys the second half. I thought we looked like a good basketball team again for portions in the second half.
Tony?
Yeah, Dusty, this is your first year in the program. They've been doing it here for some time, but you guys, both programs were neck and neck in this Big Ten title race all the way down to kind of like final 10 days or so, right? I guess I wonder, what have you learned about maybe trying to pace your team, or if that is anything you learned? Like, do you think maybe you guys were running the RPM up too high too early, and that has caused this to fade, or how do you get into the home stretch, right?
No, me personally, I think that the season gets going, and when you don't have the depth and you're in as many tough games as we've been in, you tend to overlook some of the mistakes because you're winning and you're in position, and you don't really want to rock. You just keep thinking we're going to chip, and some of these things were rearing their heads throughout the year, but we're making shots, and we'd found some unique ways to close games, and so. Some of this isn't a surprise. It's just when you factor in the turnovers have continued and then we're not making shots, then you get exposed for what you were doing this entire time. So it's not all our, we were trying to hold it together at times when we weren't playing as well instead of ripping the Band-Aid off. But also, Michigan State, they've got a lot of guys that have been through these wars. They have great, you just see the leadership on the court and the accountability that they hold each other to. So I'm not taking anything away from them. Those guys went through a 20-game Big Ten slate and earned it, and they bounced back and responded from their tough stretch and became better for us. So this was our tough stretch. We didn't play nearly as well as we need to, but I do believe in the response and the character of this group, and so we're excited to go play. Flush this. There's nothing we can do about it now other than continue to find ways to be better. But no, we're excited to get to Indy. We've done well on these extended road trips when our guys are together, and we spend a lot of quality time. But whatnot. So move on.